Don't die, Kane, she said.
Farron always comes for me. Don't die, Marino. I might miss you.
This book is just anxiety-ridden. I have warned you, if something happens to you, I will personally raise eternal flame. If you die, I will kill every single one of them. He loved her, even though he never expected them to be anything but doomed. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm actually so excited for today's video, and I do realize I say that about every video, but today's a classic reading vlog, and I feel like we haven't done that in a long time. You've probably already read the title, but we're gonna be reading one book and one book only, and it is Alchemized by Senlinyu. I haven't seen a book release this big since like Quicksilver or Iron Flame. I haven't read Fourth Wing, so I have no clue. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is this book's release was huge. I can't scroll 2 videos without getting a video about Alchemized, and I'm very surprised I haven't been spoiled yet. It would actually kill me if I was spoiled, so I'm literally so afraid to go on TikTok now. Let me give you a quick background on this book. Alchemized was originally published as a fanfic. Also, feel free to correct me if any of these things are wrong, because this is just what I've gathered, but you'll soon realize that I'm not the best source. Alchemized was originally a Harry Potter fan fiction of Hermione Granger and Draco Malfoy. It was called Manacled back then, and people really loved it, and it was very famous. I have not read Manacled, nor have I heard of Manacled before Alchemized, and the main reason why I haven't heard of it mainly is because I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I read the first 3 books of Harry Potter back when I was very young, and I remembered being very invested into it, but I had a very bad habit of not finishing series that I started back then. So I didn't finish Harry Potter, and I didn't watch the movies either, because if there's a book and then a movie adaptation, I will not watch the movie until I finish reading the book. Even if I'm never gonna read the book, I will still not watch the movie. So all in all, I have not heard about Manacled, nor am I in the Harry Potter lore. I'm going into this book completely blind. With the very basic knowledge I have of Harry Potter, I understand how that ship could be appealing to people. I think the ship name is called Hermione, right? Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments nicely. But people are gonna start thinking I'm a heavy core Hermione shipper because I just finished Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. And if you've been watching me on this channel, you will know that I love Julie Soto so much. She's one of my absolute favorite authors, and I will read anything she writes because that woman never disappoints. I love all of her books, so when she releases a fantasy, of course I'm gonna have to read it. I did know going into it was a Dramini fanfic, but I didn't really care. I just cared that it was Julie Soto. Anyway, so I just finished this. I gave it 4 stars. I think it would have been a 5 stars for me if the pacing was adjusted. It wasn't a huge issue towards the middle and the end of the book. This isn't a spoiler or anything. It literally happens in the first chapter, but she was basically captured along with other women. A lot of triggering things happened during that first portion of the book, and I did read the trigger warnings, but I just didn't know it would go on for that long, which is why I was hesitant to pick up Alchemized, because I heard that this book was extremely dark. On the topic of Dramini fanfics, there's a lot of similar themes that happen throughout these 2 books, and apparently according to other people, other books as well. And I'm just wondering if there's a reason as to why these are the themes of Dramini fanfics. Let me know in the comments because I'm genuinely curious. Let's actually talk about Alchemized. Look at how thick this book is. I don't think I've ever read a book of this size before, and this is literally 1,000 pages. Every time I open this book to read, I get a little bit sad that I didn't buy the US edition because this is so not floppy. I bought this from a smaller bookstore, and I didn't think that they would have it actually, but they only had 1 copy of it, and it was just imported that morning, so obviously I had to get it. The world building for this book is so insane, and I know that the author had to completely change the magic system in the world in order to be able to traditionally publish this book. I found myself getting really confused throughout the beginning of this book especially, but the thing is with the fantasy, you're kind of bound to be confused, especially at the start, so you just kind of push through. So yeah, that is my current review. I'm pretty deep into the book, and I will keep you posted on how it goes.
Hi guys, let me give you a quick book update. We're currently at my photography studio if you noticed the change in backdrop, but I feel like I haven't checked in with you guys, so I wanted to do that. I'm probably going to divide this video into 2 parts as I did my fearless reading vlog. You guys seem to enjoy that, so I'm going to do it again. Also, it's so fun to edit for me. I love seeing my actual reactions without holding back anything. So this section of the video that you're watching right now is going to be completely spoiler free. So if you haven't read the book yet, don't worry because you won't be spoiled. The second half of this video is going to be the spoiler section. There will be a warning and everything before that, so don't worry, you will not be spoiled. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the book. Also, I got this card from Kino the other day. It was free and they were giving it out. I think the artwork is so cool. I'm gonna use it as a little bookmark. Anyway, I also have the book on the Kindle. At first I was only gonna get it in paperback, but if you guys don't remember, that book weighs like a brick and a half. I really can't be lounging that everywhere, so I ended up getting it on my Kindle. I wanted to talk about a certain line. I was reading it and I literally took a photo of it on my phone. I'm not gonna tell you what happened, but something happened. But the quote is, "Farron always comes for me," she whispered. I don't think you understand. When this quote happened, I was literally in shock. I'm not gonna explain further, but their relationship dynamic is so interesting. And I feel like I'm only brushing the very surface of it because I'm in Helena's POV. And I'm literally just as clueless, if not more, of what happened in the past as she is. Keep in mind, I'm barely understanding the magic system. So like literally I know so little. Their relationship is actually going to ruin me by the end of this. I already know it. Just by that quote alone, I think that's gonna be the case. So be prepared for the end of this video because it might not be cute. We're gonna read a little bit while I wait for my customer and see how far we get. I came to Retail the next day to do an ice bath session. I've done it once and I got addicted. It leaves you feeling so good afterwards, even if it's treacherous during. Shout out to my aunt and my mom for coming along with me. Made it to the part where she supposedly figures something out, but the thing is, I'm very confused. I mean, people were saying that this book is a little bit confusing in terms of all of the words and magic system and stuff like that, but you know, with a fantasy book you just kind of have to push through. Honestly, don't think it's that confusing. I would have appreciated a glossary, but it's not that bad, you know what I mean? In one of the recent chapters, I won't say which one, but something was revealed and I think it's supposed to be like a shocking moment, which I was shocked and I was like holding on to the person next to me and being like, oh my god, like what is happening? It was shocking. I knew it was supposed to be shocking, so I was shocked, but I had no idea what was going on. They explained it a little bit, so now like I actually know what's going on. Hopefully it is explained even further because I think that there was a lot of information that was revealed in that very tiny time slot and I just like couldn't make sense of all of it. But apart from that, the story's going great. Welcome to another check-in. I've made so much progress in the book. I'm so sorry for not updating you sooner. I feel like I haven't filmed as much as I thought I would and I've just been reading, which I'm so sorry, but this book is actually eating me alive. I wake up excited every day to read this book and I genuinely haven't felt that way about a book since like last year. I think the last book that made me feel this way was the Book of Asriel and The Secret History, which were both reads from last year. My most anticipated books are always released in the fall time and I'm literally so excited because it's October and not only is it my birthday month, but it's also my favorite month because everything is released in October. I haven't given you a summary or a premise yet and I realize I keep doing that, but it's also because I just don't think that I'm a good summarizer. Also, I'm just scared of getting things wrong just because you guys are listening. Anyway, I'm gonna give you a very brief summary. No spoilers, just a quick rundown of what you're getting yourself into. This book follows our main narrator, Helena Marino. A war had ended and her side has lost, so she is now caught by the opposition, and when they examined her mind, they realized that she had blocks within her memory. Basically memory loss, but these blocks are intentional. Like someone intentionally is blocking her memory. So everyone is suddenly thinking that she is hiding some vital information and they want to get it out of her. They then sent her to go live with Kane Farron, and he's basically supposed to uncover her memories and find out what she's hiding. And there are some heavy topics in here that could be triggering to readers. So if you're planning to read this, please check trigger warnings. There has been so many quotes I've tabbed in here. I'm literally 50% through. This This is how deep I am into the book, and I am terrified of the other 50% because I feel like the ending is not gonna be good, and I'm literally scared. It's so messy right now. We're so deep into a war. I have no clue how things are gonna end, and I'm so terrified because I feel like I've grown such an emotional attachment to these characters, like both of them. I've gotten to know them for so many pages that I genuinely feel a connection to them, and if anything happens to them, I will actually break down. This is a quote on page 457. "You're like a rose in a graveyard," he said, and his lips twisted into a bitter smile. "I wonder what you could have turned into without the war." And another quote on page 423. "Don't die, Marino. I might miss you." Guys, when I read it, I was like, oh my god. I literally posted on my close friends. Oh, actually, I want to talk about a theme in the book that I found really interesting, but I feel like it hasn't been touched on that much by the public. I don't know, because I've been avoiding spoilers, so I kind of haven't been on TikTok because I feel like I'm gonna get spoiled. A very prominent theme in this book is actually religion. I personally don't think that there was a right or wrong side in the war. Obviously, there are more drastic measures that have been taken from one side than the other. I think that at the root of it, it's just two sides of an extreme, and our main character kind of questions the religion because she's not originally from the area. She immigrated into the area. So for example, like the way she is viewed, some of the gods are different than the people who she is now like forced to fit in with. I found that the discussions surrounding religion and the questioning of it is very interesting to me, especially like I'm a Gen Z, and I think topics like this have been discussed a lot in our generation. I don't want to say too much because I want you to experience it in the way I did, which is like going into it blind. I think that that is very well done, and it's very obvious that there is no like good or evil. Good and evil is very much presented in this book, but you soon learn that that is not the case. There is no completely good person in a war. This is a quote I found. It's on page 420. "A southern ritual had no place in the north, but she had given everything for the war, and it had not been enough. Superstition was all she had left." In desperate times, a lot of people turn to superstition and religion. Personally, I really like the way that it was implemented into the book.
"Don't die, Kane," she said. The line he walked frightened her. A smirk twisted his mouth as he looked at her. "There are far worse fates than dying, Marino." She nodded. "I know, but that one you don't come back from." He gave a bitter laugh. "All right then, but only 'cause you asked." Oh my god. Also, today is October 3rd, and you know what that means. It is the release of The Life of a Showgirl. I'm listening to it right now. I've been listening to it all morning since I woke. My favorite so far is Father Figure. I'm meeting my friend to go to a listening party, I guess. I don't know how they're setting it up because I have never been. I will scatter tiny clips of that later on in the vlog, but this book is eating so bad. Hi guys, you don't understand how excited I am to be talking to you right now. I wanted to talk to you yesterday, but I literally had no time. I'm in the middle of my busiest week in like a hot minute. Yesterday I got my nails done. You guys can take a look. Aren't they so cute? Shout out to my nail tech because she stayed past time to finish these for me. Literally the sweetest ever. I was reading on my Kindle while doing my nails. This was on my Kindle when I closed it, and my nail tech was like, "Oh, that's a cool cover." How do you get Kindles without ads? Like, I want my Kindle to open the cover of the book that I'm currently reading, which is Not Truly, Madly, Deeply by Al-J. Shen. I have read a lot of Al-J. Shen, but I have not read this one. I surprisingly don't read that much dark romance anymore. This would be very, very shocking to high school me because that's all she read. Anyway, I was reading Alchemized on my Kindle, and she was asking me what a Kindle is, and I was like, oh, it's like an iPad, but it only has books and you can store a bunch of books in it. I told her this book feels like getting stabbed, and then the whole book is just the knife twisting, and that is not a normal saying in Thai. So you can imagine how weird it was to say it in another language apart from English. But no, truly, I think I read the most devastating chapters while at the nail salon. I need to transfer all of my highlights, but I highlighted 8 things in chapter 47. That is how incredible it was. I understand that Kane is not the most wanted book boyfriend ever. I mean, he's not even a book boyfriend, but like, there's nothing I love more than a tortured man in a book. Every time Kane Farron comes comes on screen, I am so alert, it is not even funny. I'm highlighting everything he says. And sometimes I do feel like I'm settling for the bare minimum. But because he's been mean, when he does something nice, you're like, oh my god, this is so heartwarming. And I feel extremely manipulated, but at the same time, I'm also in Helena's POV and I feel like I should be feeling like this because she's feeling like this. I do think that the love is very much real and present, but because of all of the politics involved, trust just can't be given, which very much like hinders their relationship. I wrote a couple of notes down on a sticky note because yesterday I really had to do schoolwork. So I promised myself I wouldn't film, even though I really wanted to desperately talk to you. A lot of these are going to be in the spoiler section because I just really need to talk about some of these scenes. My first note is actually Hunger Games. So I haven't read the Hunger Games, but I've watched the movies when I was really young. So honestly, I don't really remember anything. But recently I watched The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I watched it because I really do love a good villain. Like, I think we've established that. I really do see a correlation between the relationship presented in Songbirds and Snakes and Alchemized. Like, oh my god, have you ever been so afraid to read on? Because that's literally me right now. And I know I'm gonna be less anxious if I keep reading on and they start like, their plan starts moving. I think I've said this a lot in this video, but no book has made me feel the way Alchemized has in 2025. And I love the feeling of being so utterly consumed by a book. And I feel like books are either a miss or like an okay, it's fun, or you become absolutely obsessed with it. And I am so obsessed with this story right now. It is all I can think about. And if I could sit around and read this all day with no consequences, I would. But I only feel this way about books. I've never felt emotional connect to characters in a film before because I feel like you are only spending an hour or 2 hours with them. But with a book, you're spending days and weeks with them depending on how much you want to savor it. And people who say that they don't enjoy reading, I just feel like they haven't found a book that really punches them right in the chest. Actually, I have a friend, we met like, I don't know, a year or two ago, but we're not that close. And we were in the same class, I guess. So I would show up every day and I would have a book in my hand. And I remember we had a conversation and she said she doesn't read. And I think I told her like, you should really try it. And I gave her some book recs and now she's a reader. People are really missing out. And being inside a book is such a cool experience. And reading in my room is superior to a lot of experiences in my opinion. Like, I would choose this over a lot of things.
Hi guys, so I'm currently on page 617, basically on chapter 50, and they're about to do something crazy and I wanted to film my reaction because I think something's going to happen. I think that would be the end of part 2, right? I don't know. Guys, I'm so scared to finish part 2. Maybe I should just stop reading after part 2. Do I really want to know how it ends? I also got a matcha from my favorite cafe today. This thing is so good. It's actually better than the one I make. Let's read together. This is actually so insanely gory. And I don't usually read gore. I usually hate it, so.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is actually gonna be the death of me. If I could tab the entire page, I would, but I can't. So I'm just gonna tab one part of it. Oh. This is heavy. I'm not weak. I mean, maybe I am, but like this is also heavy. One of the things I'm highlighting is you idiot, but I thought it was a worthy tab, so I think I'm gonna run out of tabs again soon. This is my second box of red, and I don't think I have any more red. I don't even care that other people are dead or alive. I wish I could read all of this to you because I don't know how to explain how I feel. This whole book is just me being anxious about what is gonna happen to these people that are not real, might I add. This book is just anxiety ridden. Why am I crying on this scene? I don't know. It feels emotional. It feels emotional to me. I don't know.
Of course the chimeras were savage. How could anything endure so much hurt and not learn only to bite? Oh my god, this writing is insane. The exploration of these characters, like the depth of them, why they are the way they are, why they act the way they act. I was unaware of the author's game. This actually might be book of the year. For me, at least. And then, a few sentences later, she says, "Be careful, Kane, don't die." Oh my god, I'm so tired. I just want a happy ending. I'm really not gonna get it, am I? I think after this, I'm gonna have to read something very, very light. It's actually gonna be so painful if there's no happy ending.
I'm really sorry for the repetitive angle, but there's nowhere more comfortable than my book corner. I really want to read, so I'm so sorry for the aesthetics of this video if it's just me in this corner. Every time you asked, I promised I was yours, always. There aren't any exceptions or expiration dates on always. These two and their damn promises are actually gonna be the end of me. Guys, I'm not even to the end yet. I can't. They're like angry at each other and they're angry at themselves and it's just like all one giant fucking mess. Is she trying to kill me? That's insane. Why would anyone do this to me? A few lines later, I'm gonna have to tab again. Oh my god. He loved her even though he never expected them to be anything but doomed. He loved her all the same. I'm going to take care of you, she mouthed silently. She said it. Oh my gosh, she said it. I'm gonna be out of this pack in like a chapter or two. The tears won't stop either, so that's just amazing. This is so crazy, bro. Like, there's no fucking way. And they're not giving me a happy ending. I'm getting one, right? Yeah? Yeah? I finished the book, but I need to sit on it for a little bit. I need to process it. I'm currently editing this video at the same time that I'm filming this, and it is so long. I think this might be the longest YouTube video I've ever made. Sorting through all of this footage, I'm not gonna lie, was hell. So that was great. No, but truly, I have had an amazing time like looking back and seeing my reaction to things and seeing what I thought about all the characters, and I think especially in the spoiler section, it was so fun to like look through. I made some notes to talk about. Oh, first, I want to talk about a TikTok edit, and yes, I'm being serious. It's to the song Ophelia. I'm just gonna put put it up right here, but this is exactly what I mean when I say that Snow reminds me of Cain. There are similarities between the Hunger Games and this book, I swear. I just wanted to share that with you. So for the ending, I'm actually going to talk about it more in the spoiler section because I have more to say, but I'm going to talk to you guys about the book as a whole. I personally really liked the parallels and the repetitiveness of conversations. I think that that made it so much more gut-wrenching than it already was. When I'm talking about repetitiveness, I mean like repeating phrases, and it creates more impact the more you say it. I've seen it done in books before. It's not something that is uncommon, but I've never seen it done this well, in my opinion. It's so well executed to the point where 2 words by any of these characters could make me cry. This book literally destroyed me. These aren't even all my tabs yet. I have to transfer a lot from my Kindle. I also want to go in and tab the parallels as well, but this has been an amazing ride. I can't recommend this book enough. It might rip your heart out, but in the best way possible. I love when books make me feel something, and I sure as hell felt a lot throughout these pages. I think a lot of times when I read about love, I don't really feel the love, but I feel it in this one. Some people are saying that this book isn't a romance, and people who are calling it a romance are wrong. This is my take on it. This book is definitely not a lovey-dovey romance. Like if you would pick up, I don't know, like Once Upon a Broken Heart or an Anna Huang book, those are truly romance. It's more light in a way to consume, whereas this book, personally, I think Alchemized through war and grief and trauma, there's a love story, and it is a very well executed one. And I don't think people should disregard the love story in these pages just because there's so much trauma. I think one can exist with the other, and I do think that there's so many lessons to be learned and so many things to think about after finishing this book. But to not call it a love story is a little crazy when I've just watched 2 people fall in love. The bond that these 2 have for each other and their connection is just unmatched, and I don't think it should be disregarded. So that is my review of Alchemized. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've already read Alchemized, then please stay for the spoiler section, but if you haven't, then I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Hi everyone, and welcome to the spoiler section. I was flipping to part 2 just to film a little insert. Guys, the thing is, so many things are happening in this book. It's to the point where I can't remember everything that I want to talk to you guys about. I think I'm gonna have to start keeping a notes app list, because while I'm reading, I'm like, I'm gonna talk to them about this, and then I forget. I was flipping through and I found this quote. I have warned you, if something happens to you, I will personally raise the eternal flame. That isn't a threat, it is a promise. Consider your survival as much a necessity to the resistance as holdfasts. If you die, I will kill every single one of them. I'm guessing that Cain is the one who said that. Oh my god, it's making me giggly, but nothing about this book is giggly. Like, I'm guessing that he killed everyone in the eternal flame and is continuing to kill everyone in the eternal flame because they did something to her in part 2. Because like, they already don't like her. I mean, everyone except for Luke and her close friends, they already don't like her because of her views. I mean, I feel like they never had the greatest perception of her just because she's an immigrant and she doesn't perfectly fit into the society that they have molded. In terms of beliefs down to her looks, they already don't like her. They don't really trust her. I'm guessing that they're gonna do something bad about her, and that's gonna make Cain flip. And then that is where that line comes in, which is like, if they do something to you, I will literally kill all of them. Actually, the conversation that I just read in chapter 43 is pretty interesting because they both like have found some sort of comfort in each other, and especially with Helena being forcefully isolated within her group of friends and the people in her inner circle, she kind of has no one to turn to except for Cain, and Cain just has no one. They're trying to confide in each other, but they also cannot fully do that because they are instruments to each side of the war, and they can't fully trust the other person with the information that they want to say. It's a very interesting dynamic that they built. They don't trust each other, and at first, at least Helena like didn't like him at all, but when push comes to shove and it's a matter of life and death, they really are there for each other. They want to keep each other alive. Oh, guys, yesterday I read chapter 47, and that might be the most tabbed chapter so far. I think it is. I was also scrolling on TikTok yesterday, and you know what I came across? A parallel that I didn't even think about. She always tells him not to die, and then he replies with, "All right, but only because you asked." And then in the earlier chapters, I didn't even pick this up. She said, "Why don't you die?" And then he says, "Prior commitments, I'm afraid," because he made a promise to her that he wasn't gonna die, so he's keeping the promise. And also the fact that he's willing to keep living for her. He expected for himself to die. And I feel like he's a very hopeless character, a very tortured character, might I say. He literally like doesn't really have hope. Like he feels lonely. I think that that's what Helena mentioned a lot throughout the book, is that he feels lonely. And they're both lonely, which is why their relationship is so built on trauma, but it's still real. Well, in my opinion, it's real, and no one can convince me otherwise. The fact that he's willing to beg those people to keep living for her. And you know, Kane Farron is not one to beg. The fact that it was like the solstice event and she was surrounded by her friends, like the people she has loved all her life. And at that point in time, she knows so much about every lie that they've been fed. Like she sees everything clear. She's not deluded like they are anymore. And she feels like she can never go back to being in this group, knowing everything that she does now. And like she felt like very separated. I find it so sweet that the outpost has kind of become a safe space for the both of them. Like she went to the place where she felt more comfortable and felt more safe, and that is the outpost with Kane. And then him rushing back as well and thinking that she was hurt or something. Cute. And then also them making gifts for each other without telling the other person, and their gifts were so them too. She gave him healing stuff and he gave her knives. Those bits and pieces of romance and their bond that we get, I just treasure so much. I just want them to be happy, but everyone on TikTok is saying that this is the most devastating book. I also wrote that the scene where he admits defeat, he admits that she won, because in the end they are still pawns in the war. And I thought scene 47 was extremely gut-wrenching because he knew they were gonna kill him and he knew she was gonna be the one to do it, and he genuinely thought that she was gonna do it. That bitterness in his eyes, she finally understood it. He had been waiting for her betrayal. This was what held him back. He had known from the beginning, before the possibility had ever occurred to her, and he trained her anyway. "You are not replaceable," he said, his hands trembling against her shoulders. "You are not required to make your death convenient. You are allowed to be important to people. The reason I'm here, the reason I'm doing any of this, is to keep you alive, to keep you safe. That was the deal. They didn't tell you." She shook her head, giving a broken sob, and before she let herself think, she kissed him. I don't even care if the other people are dead or alive. They literally can die right now. "You don't have to be alone," he said. "Why? Because of you?" She asked bitterly. "I don't get to care about you. If I care about you, I won't be able to use you, and you're the only hope I have of keeping everyone else alive. Then use me." "You don't have to push me away to protect me. I can take it. You can stop being lonely. I won't misunderstand. I know you just want someone to be with." Are you kidding? This is so sad. This is so heartbreaking. What do you mean? He just thinks that he's filling the void of her loneliness, but he doesn't even think that she cares. They're kissing on page 659. The kisses were slow. It wasn't seething or rushed or guilty, but it was still desperate because he always made her desperate. She kissed him the way she wanted to, the way she secretly wished she could. She could have this. Once. "This is the way I wanted it to be," she admitted. "With you. I wanted it to be like this with you." He went very still. I'm sorry it wasn't." "It doesn't matter," she said. "Yes, it does. Let me give you this now." Stop, I can't. Ah! Oh my god. Why am I crying on this scene? I don't know. It feels emotional. When he pushed inside her, his eyes were fastened on her face. "Is this all right? Is this good for you?" She gave a gasp and nodded, because it was good this time. This is like healing something a little bit, because they're both fully consenting, and it's not because of any sort of upper hand. "You're mine. You swore yourself to me, now and after the war. I'm going to take care of you. I'm not going to let anyone hurt you. You don't have to be lonely, because you're mine." Helena knew she should go, but she had lost herself there. She was locked in the dangerous embrace of Kane Farron, and it felt like home. Guys, it felt like home. They're trying to kill me. Hi guys, I think I updated you this morning. I literally had to stall myself from reading. If you don't know where I am right now, part 3. Also, every time the ring is mentioned, I start screaming because I think she still has the ring, because she basically made it invisible, so it's still on her. And then I also tabbed this quote. Her left hand was burning, the ring, her heart stalled. Kane, he'd come back and found her gone. She'd told him she'd be waiting and she wasn't there. The ring burned again and again and again. He was looking for
for her. He'd come for her. He always did. But she could not think of it. She had to forget. If she remembered and was interrogated, Cain could not be found. Also, they've made so many promises and kept so many promises. When she sent Cain to go get Lila, I was a little bit pissed because I was like, why are you risking his life to go get Lila? And I have no loyalty towards the Eternal Flame. I agree with Cain. I think they treat Helena like shit. Anyway, she cares about Lila and she's making Cain go get Lila. I thought he was in so much trouble. I thought he was gonna die. We had a good run, but we were never going to last. You knew that. He's always so willing to die and it's making me go crazy.
So they're talking about the kid. And he thinks that she's gonna abort it. And then she tells him that she's not going to. And I want you to know, if I didn't, I'd wonder about everything. If our baby would get your eyes or mine, what kind of resonance they would have, if they'd have any, or if they just get to be ordinary. I'd wonder if they'd have hair like mine, or if it'd be straight like yours. If I have to go without you, if you die, I want to tell them all about you. I've never gotten to tell anyone about you. I'd want someone to know what you were like. Oh my god, not okay. Welcome to the outro of the spoiler section. Look at all of this. This is insane. To talk about the ending a little bit, there has been a lot of debate about whether or not this is a happy ending or a sad ending. And I understand both sides, but I am not on the fence. To me, this is a happy ending. With the reactions I've seen online, I genuinely was expecting the worst. I thought either Cain was gonna die or Helena was gonna die during pregnancy. Also, there was this art that I saw and it's literally Cain with their kid. So I was like, oh my god, did she die? All I wanted was for them to be together and alive. It would have been great if they were happy, but I think that they are the happiest they can be while working through all of the trauma that they've been through. I mean, they've been through so much, and I think that this book is a great representation of like the effects of war. Another thing I wanted to say is that Cain doesn't wear his wedding ring, and the only ring that he wears is the one that links him to Helena, and he also never takes it off in case she calls. Also, the parallel between like you can never call for me to call for me whenever you want, that is not direct quotes, but I'll put it up on the screen. That is so oh my god, that actually like warms my heart to another level. Every time the ring comes up, I am like on the floor. And then someone said in part 1, when she was still locked up, someone said that he was making her go outside and take walks because he knows that she likes to forage, and I thought that that was really sweet. I don't know if that's true. It's not like confirmed or anything. To me, the saddest part of this book was when part 3 started and they had to work through literally everything. There was so much to work through. As for the very end, the quote, she was a non-active member of the Order of the Eternal Flame and did not fight. And this photo, I think I spoiled it for myself because this line was everywhere on TikTok, and I kind of already knew that it was gonna end like that all her efforts and contributions were going to be erased from the history books. I knew it was gonna end that way, so I wasn't surprised by it. I think I kind of expected it. It's literally everywhere, so I can't really escape it. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. This was a 6-star read for me. It'll be very hard for any book to top Alchemized this year. This was such an amazing read, and thank you for coming on this ride with me because it was definitely tough, and sometimes I genuinely did not want to read on because I thought they were gonna die. I thought they were gonna die the entire time. Thank you so much for watching this video and staying through the spoiler section. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!